Hi everyone. Okay, this is Jeannie. This is Scarlet Sky Art, and I am just getting ready to show you this portraiture practice. This is an exercise that I think is really good. Keep your scrap paper, 4x5s, 5x5s, and on up, and stack them up. And as you get a big stack, you can start this series of front-facing portraiture exercises. So we're going to do one here. Right now I'm just working out one little color of paint. One color, choose any color you want, put it on a porcelain plate, and you'll have dark paint, you'll have light paint, but it's all the same color. What you're going to do with this is paint with water. You can see how I've got this on the plate. Now I'm taking a 3/4 round brush. It's the, what's it called, Silver Velvet series of brushes. I really like them. They're beautiful, soft sable. This one is a flat round, gorgeous 3/4 round. And I'm going to use one other brush too, and that's the number 8 round. It has a very strong point, very flexible, holds a lot of water. And so here we've already now put down 2 little splotches for eyes. Rinse your brush and think about what you're doing. Dry your brush off, blot it off, and start to pull a little bit of shading in. Now the light's coming from the other side, and I don't know if that's going to show left or right on your screen, but right now it's just the other side. So we're going to darken in that. We're going to go down and we're going to find where the nostrils go, 2 little dots. And this is all going to be a perception thing because you're developing the right side of your brain. You're developing a perception of what you want. You're not measuring things out and getting all analytical about this. This is a practice. In fact, it's great to do fold up a little concertina book, and you have about 6 or 7, maybe 12 or so, however big you want to make it, panels, and use all the panels to do these portraiture exercises. And when you're all done with that, when you're all done with 25, 30, 40, 50 of them, go and start on your side views and get good at that. And this quick rendition or sketch, a painting sketch, is really good for beginning to understand how to look at a person and capture the spirit of that face, that person. So anyway, now we're putting in 2 little pupils. It kind of gives us a feeling of balance of who this person is. I put the eyebrows up there. They don't have to be perfect at all. They just have to be an image of exactly where you want them, and not even exactly. I shouldn't have even said that. And now we're going to put in a mouth, which is just a little plop of paint, and kind of very lightly. You're using a lot of water here because you don't want to engrave this stuff into steel. You want a lot of flexibility as far as moving this paint around. As you can see on the right hand side, I put too much water, which developed something we call cauliflower. But that's okay because it's so light. I will be able to cover that up in the end after it's all dried. It's just not a problem. Really, watercolor is not a problem because you can move it around even after it's dry. Paint over it, glaze over it. But the wonderful thing about watercolor is it isn't something that even if you go back a couple of days later, you can soften a harsh line. You can go over with a little more hefty color, darker value. So as you can see, none of this looks great now, but it will turn out to be just a real fine impression of a face. So we're just going to keep working it through. You might put some paint down that's too dark. Then you have to go back and kind of lighten it up. You are conscious of your values, your values, and you're always working from light to dark. In my experience, there are times when you just streak out some dark paint swatches and it looks great, but a lot of times you're working most generally from light into dark while you're working with watercolor. And it's called glazing and different things. But now, one thing I want to say about it is don't scrub on your paper too much. When you put down your paint, just kind of leave it and live with it. You can go back to it and lighten it up a little bit, but a lot of times, like you could see that piece I put, that paint stroke I put right next to the eye there. I didn't worry about it taking out the eye. I just put it there and I left it there. And now you just see me taking my toilet paper roll and blotting everything off. And that's how I also dry or sop out the water from my brushes. I use that toilet paper roll all the time, the whole time I'm painting. So anyway, I'm going to stop talking now for a minute, and we're just going to work on a little bit of detail through the eyes, as you can see, bringing them to life. And you can go as crazy as you want with details, but I am saying don't try to get this into a museum quality piece. It's just a practice exercise, so don't allow yourself to get all crazy getting details in. Just get it to where it is a satisfactory feeling of a quick portraiture, and then leave it like that. But make sure you work it to the satisfactory point. In other words, a point where you can say, yeah, that looks fine. Otherwise, keep picking at it a little bit and see what happens. And I'm just going to stop and let you watch me work through a few things here, and then we'll just see where it goes. All right. Oh, one thing I wanted to say here is if you start to feel a little stuck on, you feel like maybe something's not quite coming together, then move on to the mouth. If the eye is not quite what you want, don't keep fooling with it. Get away from it for a minute and go down and work on the mouth. Go work on the nose, maybe work on the other eye, but that's kind of a close connection to the eye you're having trouble with, so it might be best to go on to another part. Get back away from it and just think about it a little bit. Actually, you can pick this page up. I have it taped down because I want it to stay under the camera. But you can pick it up and go look at it in the mirror. Like, in other words, turn it toward the mirror and look in the mirror at it, and you'll see a lot of problems that you don't see looking straight onto it like this. You can also back away from it for 20 or 30 minutes, go make some coffee or something, and you come back and you'll see it all new. Another thing that I find is oh my gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. Let me think. Oh my goodness. How crazy is that? Anyway, we're still working through. Oh, well, maybe I'll think of it and I'll be back in a minute. I know what I was going to say. I was going to say, then this is so, so important, guys. You have to allow your watercolor to dry sufficiently before you start another layer. So that's something to be very careful about. I just took it in and dried it with a hair dryer, which is something I keep a hair dryer usually here at the desk. This is Dr. P.H. Martin's white. This is the only other paint that is allowed on these practice portraitures. So, but it's really great you can emphasize some of your lights with this, especially the whites of the eyes, or maybe you might need to pale out a dark spot that you aren't happy with or whatever. But it works great. So that is your one exception of you don't want to use a lot of colors. Of course, you can use whatever you want, but I'm just saying as a basic way to start practicing this, just use one color paint. However, I've seen people use a lot of different colors. It's trickier. It's an advanced thing to do. But like I said, this white is great to have at the last because we're almost done with this. So we're just we're getting it to where it's satisfactory enough to sign it and go to the next blank panel. Guys, I'm sorry this I keep moving the paper, I guess, and it kind of fades out, but hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. We're about at the end of this, so I guess what I want to say now is I hope you have enjoyed this. I really enjoyed making this for you, and I hope you can do it because it's so great to have these fun practice projects to work on, and hopefully you'll just get better and better. Hopefully I'll get better and better as I plow through these. And so thanks for watching, and I will come back later with another video. Have fun. Bye-bye.